We live in a world that glorifies relationships as the ultimate path to happiness. But what if choosing solitude was actually the key to finding yourself? Carl Jung believed that only by exploring our identity, away from external distractions, could we truly become ourselves. In this video, you'll discover how solitude can be much more than just a pause. Beyond cliches, we'll understand why learning to love yourself might be the key to a truly fulfilling life. Carl Jung, one of the pioneers of analytical psychology, described individuation as a fundamental process for achieving a full and authentic existence. But what exactly does this concept mean, and why is it so relevant in the context of human relationships? For Jung, individuation represents the journey toward discovering and integrating all facets of our personality, our strengths, weaknesses, desires, and shadows. It's not just about getting to know ourselves better. It's about building an inner unity, a solid foundation from which to engage with the world. However, he warned, this inner journey is often compromised by external expectations, particularly those tied to romantic relationships. In a society that places relationships at the center of life, many people enter into partnerships without first having the chance to develop their individuality. This can lead to emotional dependence or even a loss of identity, as the other person becomes a crutch rather than a truly complementary partner. A powerful image Jung used is that of a tree. Without deep roots, it cannot grow or withstand storms. Our roots are what we build during the moments we dedicate to understanding ourselves. These periods of reflection are not an escape, but an opportunity to become more resilient and more aware of our own needs. Take, for example, someone who, after several unfulfilling relationships, decides to be alone. While exploring their interests, they rediscover a forgotten passion for photography. More than just a hobby, this activity becomes a way to explore their identity, emotions, and aspirations. With this experience, they can then approach future relationships without the fear of losing themselves in the other person. Individuation is not a luxury, but a necessity for building authentic and balanced connections. It's not about withdrawal, but about paving the way for more meaningful relationships. For generations, the idea that happiness comes solely from being in a relationship has been deeply ingrained in our cultures. We grow up with fairy tales where love saves everything, and as adults, this belief is reinforced by movies and music. The pressure can be subtle, like casual remarks. And when will it be your turn? But it can also be more direct, even oppressive. You're too picky. That's why you're still single. This social burden pushes many to seek a partner just to meet others' expectations rather than their own desires. Romantic relationship myths also play a major role. The idea that a partner completes you or that you need to find your other half reinforces the belief that you are not enough on your own. But these simplistic narratives overlook a fundamental truth. If you are not at peace with yourself, no relationship will ever fill that void. However, choosing to be alone, even temporarily, allows us to challenge these expectations and create a new narrative. A narrative where independence is valued, where self-love becomes the foundation upon which everything else is built. Being alone, far from being an absence or a void to be filled, can be a time rich with opportunities. Contrary to popular belief, chosen solitude is not a weakness, but a strength. The strength to give yourself time, space, and attention. It is the perfect moment to refocus and uncover aspects of your personality that often get overshadowed in relationships. When you live alone, every decision, every moment becomes an opportunity for introspection. Without the constant influence of a partner's expectations, you come face to face with your own desires and aspirations. In this freedom, many discover new passions or redefine their priorities. Some choose to explore the arts, develop a career they truly care about, or simply cultivate moments of peace and self-reflection. But the benefits of solitude don't stop there. It also helps strengthen self-esteem. By learning to value ourselves as individuals, we develop a confidence that no longer depends on external validation. This becomes a solid foundation for future relationships, where emotional dependency gives way to balanced and respectful exchanges. Beyond personal growth, solitude also acts as a shield against toxic relationships. Many people enter relationships to fill a void, which can lead to dependence or manipulation. Learning to be comfortable with yourself allows you to recognize the warning signs of these dynamics and avoid them. Ultimately, solo life is an opportunity to experiment, learn, and evolve. It's a transformative phase that, while sometimes uncomfortable, is deeply rewarding. It teaches us that we are already whole as individuals, and that any future relationship, if it happens, will be a choice, not a necessity. Even with all the benefits of living alone, many people remain skeptical. This skepticism is understandable, as it stems from deeply ingrained beliefs and personal experiences. So, how can we address these legitimate doubts without dismissing the value of romantic relationships? First, it's important to acknowledge that romantic relationships can indeed be a source of happiness, support, and growth. The point is not to undermine couples, but to emphasize that a healthy relationship can only exist when both individuals have a strong and independent identity. Carl Jung himself said, "The most important encounters are the ones we have with ourselves." Second, many believe that choosing to be alone is a sign of selfishness or escapism. In reality, it's quite the opposite. It's an act of courage, facing your own flaws, learning to understand and accept them. This approach doesn't distance you from others. It actually prepares you for deeper, more authentic connections. Finally, for those who fear solitude, it's crucial to remember that this time alone is temporary. It's not about rejecting relationships, but about creating space to grow as an individual before returning to them. When we stop seeing solo life as a burden and start embracing it as an opportunity, it becomes a true catalyst for personal transformation. This often misunderstood period can offer unique experiences and profound changes that redefine how we see ourselves in the world. Far from being just a pause or a waiting period, solo life can be an active stage, one where you refocus on your values, dreams, and ambitions. It's a time to take risks, explore uncharted territory, and reinvent yourself without fear of judgment or the expectations of a partner. In these moments, dormant passions can be reignited, new skills developed, and clarity regained about what you truly want from life. The transformation doesn't stop at the personal level. By learning to love ourselves, we also develop a unique ability to love others without excessive expectations or dependencies. This process prepares us for future relationships built on respect, balance, and true complementarity. Being alone doesn't mean being incomplete. It means choosing, for a time or forever, to focus on yourself, to understand and transform who you are. This is a courageous decision, one that goes against social pressures. It's not a rejection of love, but a reaffirmation of self-worth. It's understanding that the most beautiful relationship begins with yourself. And now the question you need to ask yourself is, am I ready to fully love myself before loving anyone else? If this reflection sparked something in you, now might be the perfect time to dive deeper into Carl Jung's psychology. Books like Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious or The Red Book are true treasures for a deeper understanding of the human soul. You can find links to these references in the video description. If you enjoyed this content and want to continue this journey of self-exploration, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our next uploads. Also, share your thoughts in the comments. What does the concept of individuation mean to you? See you soon for a new video.